Good morning and welcome to Daily Devotions with Pastor Joe. I'm Pastor Joe, and I'd like to read from Joshua chapter 11 this morning, verses 15 through 16, where it says, "As the Lord commanded Moses his servant, so did Moses command Joshua, and so did Joshua. He left nothing undone of all that the Lord had commanded Moses. So Joshua took all that land, the hills, and all the south country, and all the land of Goshen, and the valley, and the plain, and the mountain of Israel, and the valley of the same." And this is just an absolutely awesome thing to think about. Joshua here had been through all of these battles. He had been through 80 years of his life. He had, from the very first day, at the very first start, decided that he wanted to serve God. And so whenever it came time for there to be a battle, he was right there for it. When he was one of the spies way back in the very beginning, he was the faithful spy who said, "I know with the Lord's help we're going to do it." He was the one that Moses passed the torch on to Joshua. He gave him all of the commands that the Lord had given, and the Lord and his commands were followed through perfectly by Joshua, the Bible says. It means that Joshua didn't lack anything that the Lord had commanded to Moses, and Moses has passed on to Joshua. So to consider that, that's pretty huge. I mean, he was over 40 years old at the time that he took it had been over 40 years since he had been the spy in the land of Canaan. And now he is an 80-some-year-old leader of the children of Israel. And this is the testimony he has nearing the end, not quite at the end, but nearing the end of his life, that he did everything. He didn't leave anything undone. And I hope that that's a testimony that you and I can both have of our lives, that we leave nothing undone, that we do everything that God has commanded of us. But really, I want to look into the thoroughness here of this. It says Joshua took all of the land, the hills, the south country, all the land of Goshen, the valley, the plain, the mountain of Israel, and the valley the same. He didn't leave one thing unturned. How are you doing in that regard this morning? Are you being like Joshua and making sure to take a thorough checklist through your life and saying, "God, okay, take a checklist and look down through my life"? Are you saying, "Lord, here's my heart, open it up. What do you want to change? What do you want to do? What mountain do you want me to climb next, or valley do you want me to go through? Yea, though I go through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil." Are you in that position where you can say, like Joshua, that you've been as thorough as you can possibly be as far as you know? Joshua was thorough. He didn't leave anything undone that God had commanded him. If God's commanded you to do something in your life, that's the only way to be. And so this morning, as we begin our day, I'd just like you to be encouraged that it is possible to live a perfect life as far as Christianity is concerned. No, it doesn't mean you're not going to make mistakes and burn yourself or fall off of a ladder. I mean, that's silly to think that it would be in that regard, but we're still going to be human, but we're not going to live in sin anymore. And that's the big difference. We're going to live, if you're a Christian, you can live. It is possible to live above sin, without reproach, with a perfect conscience, and to live justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly before God. It's possible to live that way. Why do I say it's possible? First of all, because the Bible tells us so. It says that Joshua was able to accomplish everything God told him to. It says to love justice and mercy and to walk humbly before God. It says to be holy as God is holy. And if the Bible says to do it, God gives the power to do it. I know that for a fact. On top of that, I've known people down through the years who've lived so beautiful of lives in holiness and love, and they've completed all of those things that God has asked them to do in their life. So if there's something God is dealing with you this morning, make sure to make it a thorough accomplishment. Let God have control. Let God have the situation, the circumstance, or whatever it is that needs to be done. Just give God all the glory, and then give him all the credit, give him all the honor. Let him do the work. Don't hold back from him. This has been another Daily Devotions with Pastor Joe. Hope to see you tomorrow. God bless, and have a great day in the Lord.